This messaging mess was like the aftermath of chugging prune juice on Taco Tuesday. The results are not great, but not surprising either. Since January 20th, so many great things have happened so fast. The border's closed, fugitives have been caught, egg and gas prices have plummeted, and Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland. It's killing the media, who hate all of it because Trump's doing it all. They're not used to a president who moves with such speed. They got spoiled by 4 years of a man who only left skid marks on his underwear. Whoa. So now they act like they really are dramacrats, each one elbowing out the other for the spotlight. Meanwhile, we have bigger fish to fry. And when you have real goals, ones you decide to act on, you're going to make some mistakes, whether it's rescuing astronauts in space, running for public office, or delivering a baby at a restaurant because you told your date you were in medical school. Because there are goals and ideals. A goal is what you set out to achieve. The ideal is the path and methods to achieve it. Is your goal to kill terrorists? Great. The ideal is to do it cleanly and decisively. But it's called an ideal because perfection's unattainable. But we accept that risk. That's how winners live their lives. You don't play, you don't win. Getting things done is risky. But you can avoid that risk by doing nothing, and that's not Trump at all. And Americans are okay with it, right, Harry?
I think sometimes it's important to do a little bit of reality check and take a little different spin at the numbers. I'm going to do that right here because all we talk about is how unpopular Donald Trump is. But in reality, he's basically more popular than he was at any point in term number one, and more popular than he was when he won election back in November of 2024. How about NBC News? 44%. That's the highest since 2004. Wow. The bottom line is the percentage of Americans who say we're on the right track is through the roof.
Yes. No wonder the media is feasting on the Signal story like it's a gazelle carcass at The View. What's left for them when everyone loves Trump's aims? You go after the process. Oh, it's too fast. It's too sloppy. It's like they're describing my dream date with John Stamos. But not with old Joe. There were thousands of errors Biden didn't make as he presided over one giant deliberate act of negligence. It was all Joe could do to get out of bed in the morning. If this guy put his shoes on the right feet 2 days in a row, the legacy media would have orgasms. I wonder if it's something that should have been done by Sleepy Joe Biden.
This is something that should have been done by Sleepy Joe Biden, but he was asleep at the wheel other than when it came to stealing money, of course.
Amen. Meanwhile, the same outraged media you see now were the very same who covered up Joe's mental decline. Biden was an expert at not doing things. He didn't close the border, which was too much to ask from a guy who refused to do the same thing with his bathrobe. He didn't reduce crime or inflation. Hell, he increased both. He didn't get creepy men out of women's locker rooms. Instead, he appointed them to high office. Perhaps we were lucky he ignored so many problems. I mean, look at the damage they did while doing absolutely nothing. Can you imagine what the country would look like if they actually tried? Instead of capturing terrorists or deporting gangs, Joe just shrugged his bony shoulders and said, well, what can you do? Before collapsing on the beach 8 hours a day. So for the next 4 years, you're going to hear about mistakes because Trump's aims are so dead on. All the angry media has left is process. But you know better. We dig a leader with great aim who'll take a risk on America's behalf, not a guy whose aim failed the country, but also the toilet. Let's This Brooke doesn't babble when fighting the radical rabble. Human rights lawyer Brooke Goldstein. He used to do crack. Now he looks like someone who used to do crack. Comedian Rich Voss. She's toured with the band and read Ayn Rand. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. And like a game of bridge, old ladies like to do them once a week with friends. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion Tyrus. Brooke, I made a decision today. I gave this story 24 hours, and I said, that's all you deserve. This is all you deserve from a media that spent 4 years covering up incompetence and lack of security to then lecture us that there's a breach in security and there's incompetence. Them.
Yeah, well said, Greg. Well said. But we both know that this is going to drag on and on, okay?
Yes.
Because that's all they have, like you said in your intro. Obviously, this is not good. Is it being blown out of proportion? Absolutely. Is this an example of a narcissistic journalist putting himself at the center of the story? Absolutely, because there would be no security breach if he had done the right thing. If you see yourself, you're on the wrong thread, you should point itself out, you should flag it, and take yourself off. And he claims to care about national security, but instead, he puts himself at the center of the story, and he blows it out of proportion and risks our national security by publishing the thread. To me, it is so obvious that it's a diversion from what we all have to be doing, which is thanking President Trump for making the Middle East more peaceful and safer. We're not able to have any of our shipping ships through the Suez Canal or the Red Sea for over 2 years. That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that the Houthis were taken off the terror list. Trump carried out an excellent attack, carried out the mission to perfection, and that's what we should be talking about right now.
It's funny, Rich, what you're wearing. Have you ever used the Signal app to chat with your bookie?
No, here's the thing. I'm on the run right now. Doesn't Biden look like Fire Marshal Bill in that picture? So I don't like the group chats, any of that, because I'm old. I don't want to apologize to more than one person.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always screw up. I, by accident, sent my mom nude pictures. Okay? Thankfully, she's been dead for 10 years, so she didn't get them.
Both were stiff.
Ew.
So,
Jesus, Greg.
Wait, did I embarrass you?
Which is hard to do as long as I've been on this show, but calling him stiff and his mama stiff is fighting words where I'm from, so I'm just saying.
Well,
Talking about my mama, I gotta cut you. So
but it's a lie. I'm not stiff.
Kennedy, this is a family show. I wanted to remind you.
And I'm someone's
Adam's
mom,
family.
and I can say Rich is not stiff. I checked in the green room. Part of the HR protocol.
How can we even? Okay, let's even take Goldberg. He's the boy who cried wolf. 2 hoaxes: the Russian hoax, the losers hoax about Trump saying. So why do we have to listen to any of these people?
Because he's desperate for clicks. That the only thing he is doing here is trying to raise the profile of the Atlantic, and he thinks. I was talking to my domestic partner today.
Oh,
who said,
what's her name?
Patty, thank you. So Patty and I were talking. It's a male, but my brother says that whenever I say domestic partner, I sound like a lesbian, which is fine. I'm an ally and I don't judge.
And those are lesbian glasses, by the way.
Do you know how many times a week I get called sir?
Yes.
At this point, I've just given up. If I don't get misgendered,
I can't
feel
tell
offended.
if you look like Rachel Maddow or Chris Hayes or their bastard love child.
That actually would make everyone soft just thinking about the junior.
Yep.
What were you saying?
What the hell were we talking about?
I don't know.
I was hoping it was Goldberg the wrestler.
Yes.
I was hoping it was Jeffrey Toobin.
Yes.
At least it would make the story a little bit more exciting. But Chris Hayes is such a doughy knob.
Yeah.
And for him to say, this is the greatest security breach of our lifetime. It's like, what? You don't remember Afghanistan?
Yeah.
You don't remember 9/11?
Yeah.
That is so disingenuous.
No,
he needs Ozempic and a brain transplant.
Yes. Tyrus, when you look at that montage, you realize that they're desperate and they're pathetic, and we get it. But God, I'm trying to cut back on the F words.
I just I just can't. Yeah, you know. I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, they, man. You know, like, what? He's so. Is it Goldberg? Is it?
Yeah, Goldberg.
That's the one.
He's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you had an inside track. You could have been the greatest war correspondent ever.
Yes.
Just shut up, wait till it's over, give critiques. Like, he had an inside track.
Yes.
He was literally to catch a Republican.
Yeah.
He had the TV show set up, and he jumped in on the wrong. It's like, you set up the whole Catch a Predator. The guy comes in like, sir, what are you doing? Are you here to see the 13-year-old boy? No, I'm his father. I live here. All right, get the camera crew in the van. Let's go. Let's go, guys. He blew his wad on a no story. The only thing that would make that stuff better was at the end, Pete started asking everyone where they're going to eat lunch. You know, like, but I just wonder, maybe it'll be by like next Monday when they're still having panels over this, when they decide that this was worse than January 6th.
Yes.
It's like like that will be their next move. But like, yeah, this again, Will Cain on the Will Cain Show destroyed them today.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.